Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Football Tribe UG channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect. Welcome back from that Tuesday action in the Premier League on match day 21. There, we did witness Chelsea share the spoils with Bournemouth in a 2-all draw, while Manchester City had a similar result in their game against Brentford. Man City there, I think Phil Foden trying to pull the strings for them, but they couldn't win that game as they also drew 2-2. In the other game, we did witness West Ham beat up against Fulham by 3 goals to 2. That was a game in which I thought Fulham were the architects of their own defeat because West Ham practically uh, leveraged or exploited their defensive mistakes in trying to build from the back, and they won that game by 3 goals to 2. Although Marco Silva doesn't seem to agree. In his submission, he did say that the best team lost on the day. Maybe yes, that was the case. He does say they did create lots of chances, but well, Graham Potter had all the bragging rights at the end of the day as he steered West Ham to his first victory under the charges of the Hammers there ever since replacing Julian Lopetegui there just about over a week ago, and that was his second game, the first being a 2-1 loss to Aston Villa in the FA Cup. In the other big game of the day, we did witness Nottingham Forest share the spoils with Liverpool in a 1-all draw in a game that I thought Liverpool should have won, should had they been clinical with their chances. But take nothing away from the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper because those hands, man, they just had glue on them because he literally saved every attempt that Liverpool threw at him. Mo Salah attempting to go for the far corner, the goalkeeper was there to save. Cody Gakpo taking an effort to bend it to the far post, that one was saved, and so many other opportunities that fell to Liverpool's side. But of course, it was Chris Wood that did open the scoring to give Nottingham Forest the lead, one that they carried on into halftime. But then Diego Jota, I think 22 seconds after coming on as a substitute, he did score to restore parity there for the Reds. So that's the result from the City Stadium as Liverpool and Nottingham Forest did share the spoils in a 1-all draw. Now, all the results there, Chelsea drawing, Man City drawing, uh, Liverpool drawing could only mean one thing. It gives Arsenal some bit of advantage going into their fixture today or tonight ahead against the Tottenham Hotspurs. Now, of course, one would argue that they have so many injury problems and it's a lot for them to cope with. But that notwithstanding, I think it's a huge opportunity for them to try and close the gap even more on Liverpool because remember, Liverpool do have a game in hand should Arsenal play their game on Wednesday. So it gives them that opportunity to close down the gap if they can go ahead and beat up against Tottenham Hotspurs, a side that they managed to beat up in the first leg by a 1-0 thanks to Gabriel Magalhaes' header, if you do remember, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So here is the run of fixtures that will be coming your way on Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. Everton will be at home against Aston Villa. Remember, Everton are now under their new manager in David Moyes, who is back at Goodison Park for his second spell, while Leicester City will be at home to will be at home against Crystal Palace, same kickoff time, and Newcastle United will be at home against Wolverhampton Wanderers. That's still at 10:30 p.m. While at 11 sharp, that's when Arsenal will entertain their arch rivals of Tottenham Hotspurs at the Emirates Stadium. FYI, Arsenal are yet to lose a game in the Premier League at the Emirates Stadium, and their 2-0 loss to Newcastle last week midway in the Carabao Cup was their first loss, I think, since probably April last year. So it's a ground where they've won at least a good number of games. They try to put on a show there for their fans. Nonetheless, they've also made quite a good number of draws while there. Yes, I think their last loss had been that 2-0 loss to Aston Villa, as Aston Villa dented their title hopes last season, if I do remember correctly. Correct me if you think I'm wrong on that statistic. Anyways, do let me know what your thoughts are, what your predictions are for those particular games. But I do think The game in itself, as a London derby, does come a little too early for both sides because they are contending with lots and lots of injuries that they have both suffered. We've all known, of course, the likes of Manuel Solomon have hardly kicked a ball. They've had injuries to Dominic Solanke at some point, although he's now in the team. You've had, of course, their number one goalkeeper in Guillermo Vicario suffer injuries. Their defense, Christian Romero and Mickey Van de Ven, have been in and out of the team. Destin Udogi has hardly, had very many consistent games, and that's why you've had Jadon Spence, I think, play in that role. So Pedro Porro has been present and playing really well in recent times. Their last game being a 3-0 victory against Tamouth. That was after extra time in the third round of the FA Cup. While Arsenal, of course, we all know that they did suffer defeat against Manchester United 5-3 in the post-match penalties that preceded a 1-1 draw in normal time and all that kind of thing. So do let me know what your thoughts are. It's a hard one to predict for me, but if it did end in a draw, I wouldn't be surprised as far as that Arsenal game is concerned. But if I'm Mikel Arteta, I'll be desperate. I'll be really desperate to get all 3 points to try and close the gap on Liverpool as I wait for my star players to return from injury. But just maybe before I let you go, just to mention that he did mention that Ricardo Carafiori, his injury is not too bad and he could be available for that particular game. And he did condemn the abuse that Kai Havertz has faced in the wake of the missed chances in their game against Manchester United. And then, of course, all the injuries that they do have, you wonder what kind of team that they would field. But my prediction would be that David Raya comes back. Of course, William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes in that centre back. Urian Timber, although he did cramp off in that, Man United game. And then Miles Lewis Skelly. In midfield, I'll go with Thomas Partey. I'd go with Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard and have, Mikel Merino start on the bench. He's really struggled to find his footing in the Premier League. I do not think it serves Mikel Arteta really well for him to play Thomas Partey at right back and then field Mikel Merino because things have not yet clicked for him there in that regard. And then, of course, in the forward lines, his options are very limited. It has to be Kai Havertz leading the line, Leandro Trossard on the other side, and Gabriel Martinelli, of course, or having Gabriel Martinelli switched for Raheem Sterling to start. And basically, that's the kind of team that he has to play on the other side. As far as Tottenham are concerned, Arsenal will have to worry about Dominic Solanke because when he's been available, he's not found trouble in putting that ball in the back of the net. Anyways, in that midfield, Juvis Bissouma, Pape Matsa, Rodrigo Bentancur, of course, Dejan Kulusevski, very, very big threat. Son whenever is available. All those are players that are capable of hurting any Premier League side. We did see them obliterate Man City this season when they beat them by 4-0. So do let me know what your thoughts are. Let me not keep you here any longer. Otherwise, have a blessed day and I'll see you next time.